Hello, fellow Virgo. Look at this. I'm like losing my voice, but it's all right. It's like in and out because I've just done so many readings today. Um, I feel like you can feel me already, Virgo. Can you? I'm a Virgo and you're a Virgo, so can you feel me? Okay, so this is going to be a horoscope for the sign of Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the week ahead. So please take it as it resonates and leave the rest for others as I'm in the collective. Cross watchers, thanks for tuning in and checking in on the Virgos that are in your life this week to see how your week is going to flow. Sharing the videos out and finding yours and keeping up because I keep them posted right here on my page for your week ahead, your weekly horoscopes. That really does help. To shake things up and to draw more people in. So I do thank you guys so much. Now I am kind of losing my voice, Virgo, because I've just been doing so much, and I feel like you understand. Like before I thought I'm a Virgo too, but we're not all on the same path, doing the same kinds of things, but we do experience some of the same energy patterns, and I was just getting quiet and asking Spirit to just give me a sense of Virgo. And I actually made a card. I don't have my cards with me today, but my heavy card where there's like a person who's carrying this huge boulder. That's what I saw in my mind's eye for Virgo. And I want to say to Virgo, whatever boulders you're carrying right now, and it might be a collective of things that are accumulating to this very heavy boulder or burden that is on your shoulders at this time. I can see Virgo still walking and just making progress, slow and steady progress, even though burdened or baggage or weighed down. I want to say that anyone can do anything for a little while, all right? And you've got this, Virgo. You've got this. So let's get your lesson. Here it is. Wow. So what is this, Virgo? Anyone can do anything for a while. Can make it through. Here we are. Whoa. 1 and 2. So I have some challenging cards. Some cards that speak to challenges that I'm using this week, and you got 2 of them, Virgo. We got 2 of them, Virgo. I might as well just say us. And I'm gonna get you a final guidance card from my regular World Spirit Feast playing card deck here for Virgo. What's the final guidance for Virgo? Wow, 2 of those fell too. And what's crazy is they fell on top of the lesson cards. All right, Virgo. Anyone can do anything for a short amount of time, right? For a short time span, a short duration. You've got this, whatever it is that you're carrying, you are going to maneuver through it or put yourself into a position where you're able to put that down, okay? So energy for the week ahead, you've got the 5 of intention back and forth. So Virgo, this is kind of self-explanatory, okay? I've got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I'm on the fence about something. I'm back and forth with my energy. I'm hot, I'm cold, I'm here, I'm there. I'm scattered a bit. I've got a lot going on. I'm uncertain, indecisive, okay? This 5 of intention speaks about inner conflict and turmoil in the headspace. This could even be depression, all right? Masked in a certain way as, what is that? Like apathy, So Virgo, I just want to say that anyone can do anything for a short while, all right? But this kind of energy perpetuates the same and the same kinds of experience that validate the necessity to hold this kind of an energy, okay? So remember, I feel like it's a catch-22 here. Like, how do I break through the cycle? Okay, you've got to get firm on your decision, one or the other. I'm all in or I'm all out. You know what I mean? It's either a yes or it's a no. It's not a maybe up in the air one day in the future kind of, sort of. It's like put your money where your mouth is and start taking actionable steps that align with what it is that you desire. Okay? And don't let the voices in your head or the voices of the past or the voices of the naysayers around you distract you or sway you from your solo path and mission. Okay, because ultimately, Virgo, you have a solo path and a solo mission. And I feel this back and forth energy. It could be within you, most definitely, but it also manifests as outer experiences pulling you this way and that way. Okay. And this could be many people, many voices, or just many distractions, maybe many fears, different things that begin to arise in your path when you start to do something. And then you have oh, wait, no. Now I have this problem. I have to fix this problem before I can proceed with what it is that I'm trying to do, even though that was a little bit of an effort in itself, right? So Virgo, I feel here how it's really important that you streamline your internal focus and be more decisive about like what you're up to and where you're headed. Okay. Lest you continue this whole little song and dance with your energy kind of half in, half out, a little aloof. I feel like Virgo's a very grounded sign. And I feel like you're absolutely grounded and present when necessary. But I feel many Virgos who are like blipping out of this dimension, you know what I mean? Daydreaming a lot. You know, maybe you're taking naps or whatever, but I feel like there's a back and forth activity within your physical vessel. Like you're blipping out and into something else. And why is that? Because this is not what I want it to be. Then make it what you want it to be. Or recognize the ways in which you could make little changes to adjust it and align it a little more fully to what you would like it to be. Okay. Instead of just resigning into this whole back and forth, black and white way of thinking. Okay. Now, the lesson this week is on forgiveness. And the words say, I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. Now, the colors on this card are orange and purple. And that speaks to sacral and crown chakras. The sacral chakra is our center of creativity and passion and relationships and connection. And also that expression when we get our creative projects flowing and putting them out into the universe, as well as crown chakra violet. That's your spiritual connection, the trust that we have in the divine for orchestrating maybe our lives or our connections in the ways that it has been. I feel here for Virgo, forgiving the past, not letting it hold a sway over you any longer, forgiving. I feel like even the present needs forgiveness almost, you know, but it's not forgiveness with acceptance to remain the same. It's got to be forgiveness with an actionable and upfront on the surface plan on how we're going to improve the situation or no longer backpedal into whatever these old patterns are that I'm forgiving here. This is what I feel for Virgo. I feel like there are some things in the here and now. That's why you're back and forth. Because I'm not all in because I'm holding resentments. Okay? So please take it as it resonates. Forgive the resentments that block the flow of energy in your life. I feel like holding something against someone else might give you the power that you are. It's an illusion of power, all right? And that anger and that sometimes anger makes us feel a lot stronger to deal with the underlying emotions of sadness, disappointment, hurt. You know, I feel how, you know, forgiving yourself for whatever has happened up until now. And those are your key words, Virgo. Up until now, things have been a certain way that was dissatisfying to you. That's why this back and forth is here. Okay, so up until now can be the end of it if you decide to embody new healthy energy and hold that standard across the board in your life. I feel like Virgo needs to get solid about the intention of the standard and or the steps that you are taking to walk into a desired future, lest you sit in stagnation and get triggered into reaction because you're not happy with the way things are. Now, Virgo, you've got 2 of the cards from the Dark Mirror, the challenges this week. And the first one is number 16, Black Flower Fragrance. Black flower fragrance. So I feel this to be like toxic energy that is creeping in as if it's good. or something in your life that you've tolerated for so long, and it's kind of morphed into something uglier than it used to be, something a little less. That's what I want to say. And, we relax on our boundaries and relax on our standards, and eventually there's this big looming monster. That's what I feel like this black flower fragrance is, because it should smell good, but it doesn't. You all of a sudden realize that you're getting sick, that it's poison, right? This 1 and the 6 is about loving yourself enough to put those things down, right? I feel how, just because there may have been, negativity in the past, okay? If we never look at it, we're going to continue to perpetuate the same kinds of cycles and experiences, because we're holding that energy somewhere. So to take a look with clarity, with neutrality even, and with a touch of detachment at what has happened in the past and in the present, and to say, okay, maybe it wasn't good, and that really hurt me. But no longer will I tolerate such energy in my life. That's power. It's power to take a look, to say what it is, and to admit, I wish I had never had that, or maybe that was wrong. Okay, but then from there, you get to decide to be different. You get to change. Instead of continuing to bring up the stinky flowers, to keep ruining the scent of today. I feel like looking at these things with power, processing them and putting them to rest, so that then you can choose not to be those ways, or not to associate with those patterns in the future that you desire, right, Virgo? Now, number 13, blinded to pain. Now, I feel number 13 to be a lucky number, although others may see it differently, but I feel like great things have happened to me on the 13th. And I feel like 13 is a wonderfully lucky number. But blinded to pain, this person has a blindfold, and she's being injured here. Virgo, you've been injured. I feel like Virgo has been desensitized due to the experiences that they have had to tolerate. But that doesn't mean that any of it was okay. It doesn't mean that you can't come back and away from that. It's okay to feel again in the future, or even in the now, when you're not connected to those same kinds of toxic resources. Eventually, you'll have a healthy balance here. I feel how this blinded to pain shows that Virgo has suffered a lot, and has held a lot in, and might refuse to see where some things, activities, people in their life still are not healthy, still could do better. But sometimes it's easier not to pick the battle. I want to say that those are the things that need to be addressed so that everyone can be healthier. You might feel like you're blinded to pain because you can make it through anything, right? Like I just said, oh my God. Hold on, let me sip my water, Virgo. In the beginning of the video, I said, Virgo, anyone can do anything for a while. Okay, and that's where you're at, is you're digging in, blinded to pain. I don't even acknowledge my back pain, my knees, my hips. I don't acknowledge the emotional wounds that you're inflicting on me as I'm trying to obtain love. Okay, I don't acknowledge the limitations that I'm pushing past so that I can make money or adult in my life, right? I'm blinded to the pain of those who have hurt me for a really long time. This feels like childhood trauma kind of stuff, like family kind of stuff. And I want to say that that's not okay. That your pain matters, and it shows up in other areas of your life. And loving yourself enough to pull in and away from anything that causes you pain is the lesson here for Virgo. Even if that's behaviors and activities that you'll embody, that aren't healthy. Like some of this is pretty clear cookie cutter stuff. Like if you're in toxic connections, even if you're in a family relationship, like just because we're born together don't mean we have to stay connected forever, especially if we hurt each other. That's the lesson there, is to separate and find out who we all really are. Maybe then we can come back and respect one another. Maybe we can't. Maybe we never can. Okay, but then some of this is like me within myself. Maybe I know that I need to stop having late night binges because it's making me less healthy in my physical body, right? Maybe I know I need to stop drinking. Maybe I would like to stop smoking. Whatever this is for you, I feel how you are the one that gets to decide what's bad for you. And maybe it's kind of hard to trust. That's why you're back and forth, back and forth. I feel like there are loyalties. I feel like Virgo has loyalties to toxicity, or loyalties to fear, or loyalties to old ways of being that maybe are not being reinforced anymore. Maybe those old ways are being phased out. And everyone can be healthier as long as you take this blindfold off and stop allowing yourself to be hurt. Now, 2 cards also fell from guidance from Spirit. Now, this 4 of Clubs is about your house and home. The stability in your life. The things that are nearest and dearest, and the things and people that you see every day, like your home base, your safe space. And this 9 of Hearts is a independent card. It's a very independent card. It's about you as a person and what is fulfilling for you on a soul level. And what's harming to you, right? Because this 9 of Hearts says, this is good for me. I'm content. I'm satisfied. I'm in alignment with my choices, and I feel good about what's going on. So do you feel good about what's going on in the area of house and home? In the area of important people in your life? Feel like sometimes, but sometimes not. Some conversations need to be had. Some forgiveness needs to be given, both to others and yourself, for the past and the present. But we need to move forward with awareness. And I dare say here, Virgo, you may need to think about moving forward on your own. This 9 of Hearts is not the 10. The 10 would mean everyone else. This 9 is about you and what's right for you, so that you don't have to blind yourself to pain anymore. So that you don't have to endure this black flower fragrance that is really toxic to everyone around you, right? And yourself. Virgo. But if you're not able to acknowledge the resentments that are being held both within you and within others, you're going to remain in limbo. I want to say, make a plan. In your wildest dreams, in your heart of hearts, if you could have it your way and you could do it for you, what would it be? Sit in that energy and fantasize about that, and allow something like that to spark your curiosity and interest, and allow it to move you, allow it to shift you, and watch how some doors open up in your outer environment. Doors that you might have conflicted feelings about walking through. Walk through one of those doors and you're going to leave this crap behind you. And it's going to feel a lot better, a lot more fulfilling, okay? And I want to say, you know, this could be a literal door, okay? Or an experience kind of door. Or this could be like a moment-to-moment decision. Like, I have a door and a window that opens up in a moment because I could take the high road or I could be an asshole. You know, I see here how, you know, hey, we're not all innocent bystanders, man. Hurt people. Sometimes I'm in a bad mood or whatever else, and you could get vinegar or you could get sunshine. These are also the times when we make a choice. When we make the choice to give the vinegar or we make the choice to give the sunshine. Now, who are you and who do you want to be? Virgo, embody that energy and watch how your path changes. That's what I have for you this week. I'm sending you so much love.